Hey there, it's Lacey J, here to ask you to go to spacebearmedia.com right now to access all our content, buy yourself some merch, and most importantly, send us a message, a question, fan mail, even hate mail. We'll respond on YouTube. Also, please remember to rate and review the podcast on your favorite app or share it with someone you know who loves Lost. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Lost in My 40s, Season 5, Episode 2. It's called The Lie. It's a Hurley episode. It's a Christy episode. But first, how's everybody doing?
Great.
Doing great.
Very good.
All righty. Ben, could you please update us on where the power rankings were after Season 5, Episode 1?
Yeah. Let's see, starting at the bottom, third from the bottom, we had Charles Widmore with -6 points. Dr. Chang, medicine woman, second from bottom with -8 points. And Ethan,
He's actually more
surprise,
like Dr. Chang propaganda man.
That'd be more like Goebbels.
Sorry.
He's going to be Jim Jones.
Jim Jones, there you go.
And
Ethan at the bottom with
cults,
-19.
Ethan, the Scientologist, at the bottom.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we don't know if he's actually a Scientologist. We know his cousin is, but
You're right. That's
at the bottom we have a tie between
bottom. You mean third best?
Third from the best. Yeah, we have a tie between Ben Linus and Kate with 6 points. Sawyer in second place with 7 points, and Dan Faraday off to a strong start with 20 points.
Woohoo.
Damn, Dan. All right, guys. Christy, take us through The Lie.
I'm so glad you gave me the Hurley episode.
I did that on purpose.
And a really good Hurley episode, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the other name for this episode would probably be Weekend at Hurley's.
True. Yeah.
All right. So the episode starts with basically the only flashback. So 3 years ago at this point, a refrigerator door opens and you see a hairy arm grab a couple bottles of beer. The bottles clink as they're carried through a living area and then through a heavy door onto the deck of the Searcher, Penny's boat. The person holding the beers is Lapidus. And the Oceanic Six are sitting at a table on the ship's deck. They're discussing whether or not to lie when they get back home. Jack insists it's the only way, but Hurley says, dude, they'll find out. Saeed is also skeptical. Lapidus hands a beer to Desmond, who's sitting next to Penny watching the conversation. And he says, they're still at it, huh? Jack is pushing everyone to agree, and Saeed says, this is a decision that will affect the rest of our lives. I'm not taking it lightly. So Jack starts taking a poll. He asks Kate, and she agrees. He asks Sun, and she nods in agreement. He asks Lapidus, who replies, whatever you guys decide, I'll just roll with it.
Of course. I think that's like his life.
That's him.
motto.
Yeah, just roll with it.
Yeah,
Roll with it.
He's pretty chill.
He's the dude. He's the dude.
He is
Yeah,
the
he is.
dude.
But when Hurley is asked, he says, I don't think we should lie, dude. How does lying protect them? And Jack says, it protects them from Charles Widmore. The guy hired a boatload of people to kill us. He faked a plane crash. I mean, you think telling him the truth, he's gonna leave them alone? Hurley thinks that Penny should call her dad off, but Penny says, there's no calling my father off.
Oof.
And Hurley says, but he'll never find them. I mean, the island disappeared. We all saw it. It's gone. Bloop.
Pretty much.
Jack says nobody is going to believe that, and everyone will think that Hurley's crazy. But Hurley begs Saeed to back him up and tells the rest that if they stick together, they can make people believe the truth. He says, I don't want to spend the rest of my life lying. Do you? Saeed says, no, but I don't believe we have a better choice. Hurley is visibly upset by this decision, so Saeed continues, I'm sorry, Hurley, but we have to lie. Hurley snaps back, you know what, dude? I'm going to remember this, and someday you're going to need my help, and I'm telling you right now, you're not getting it.
Bam.
Wrong.
I know.
Wrong.
Hurley's
Wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah,
That's the
wrong.
next scene.
He
Yeah,
lied.
absolutely. But still, Hurley is standing up for himself.
Mhm.
There's actually two things wrong in this conversation. We'll get into the other one later, but Jack says to Hurley that nobody would believe him if he told the truth. And there is a scene later where that is not the case. And when we get to it, I have a lot to say about it, actually.
So, present day, off the island, Hurley is speeding in an SUV with an unconscious Saeed in the passenger seat. Hurley tries to shake him awake when he takes his eyes off the road for a second. Tires squeal as Hurley corrects. He's trying to buckle in Saeed while driving, but the SUV plows through a garbage can and some cardboard boxes sitting on the sidewalk.
I feel like you could have just pulled over for a second or maybe done that before you
Yeah, it's not like he was
left,
being
but
chased.
I know.
Yeah. So, Hurley is momentarily relieved that he didn't crash, but then a siren blares. Police lights flash behind him and he says, no, 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 no. What do I do?
Oh, Hurley.
Run!
You can hear the siren again, and Hurley pulls over with the cop car behind him. He turns off the engine, and the officer knocks on the window, and Hurley rolls it down. Anna fucking Lucia says, what the hell were you thinking? You were driving like a maniac, and why'd you pull over? A confused Hurley stammers over his words, and Anna Lucia continues, what if I were real? What if I were a real cop that stopped you?
What is happening right now?
What if it was Robert Patrick instead?
Have you seen this boy?
Have you seen this boy?
So she continues, they already have pictures of you covered in blood with a gun in your hand. Hurley thumbs his shirt and he says, it's ketchup. And she says, well, you need to pull it together.
Oh my God.
You've got a lot of work to do. Let's start with the basics. First off, you need new clothes. Then you need to get to a safe place and take Saeed to somebody you trust. Are you getting all of this?
Oh my God.
Hurley nods in agreement, so Anna Lucia tells him to get to it, stay away from cops, and not get arrested. She puts her sunglasses on, and as she turns to leave, she says, oh yeah, Libby says hi.
What?
Wow.
Broke my heart a little bit right there.
I just got goosebumps again, like right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Hurley looks in his rearview mirror, and Anna Lucia and the cop car have vanished. He starts the engine, looks at the unconscious Saeed, and says, well, you heard her.
You know what? This is where the lost title screen is. I just noticed I didn't put it on the timeline because I'm a dum-dum. But that's a good place for the title screen, obviously.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Lost title screen.
Derek, what the fuck just happened?
I don't know. Like Anna Lucia came back from the dead. Or just
and she's
Hurley's-
talking about Libby.
Yeah.
What is going on, Derek?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll discuss it when the show's over.
Yes.
You never really know what's going on with LAPD.
Oh,
True.
God.
All right. Somewhere in time on the island, the survivors are skipping through time have gathered on the beach. It is still daylight, but the sun is setting. Bernard, Rose, and several other survivors have collected driftwood and are making a fire. Bernard has constructed a simple bow, and Rose is being, ever the supportive wife.
My God. Who do you think
That's
you are,
never going to work,
Heraclitus?
you silly dentist.
But he puts an arrow in there and just shoots her. Goes, oh yeah, it works.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
He's
And
not
it's
making
sticking
that
out of her
kind of
mouth.
bow.
Going,
He's not making that kind of bow. He's making like a little one to start a fire instead of rubbing
Like
two
a Boy
sticks
Scouts.
together. Yes, a Boy
Mhm.
Scouts bow. Yeah,
They should make the other bow.
So they continue arguing over the best way to make fire when Frogurt says, fire? Who cares about fire? Any minute the sky could light up and who the hell knows what could happen this time.
Isn't he the one bitching about fire like 3 scenes from now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's insufferable right from the get-go.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frogurt is trying to meddle this season.
Frogurt can fuck right off.
He wants to be in the worst
He's
rankings.
about as helpful as Rose is being.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
But Rose does say they're focusing on what they can control. And then Sawyer asks Frogurt for his shirt.
Really wants a
Sawyer's
shirt.
on a mission.
Yeah. Sawyer then heads down to the Zodiac where Juliet is, and she tells him she thinks the boat is traveling through time with them.
You know what?
Faraday
Also, sorry, did you notice that somehow Frogurt's shirt fit Sawyer and was actually a little bit big? That's not possible. That would be like Daniel Faraday's shirt. Daniel Faraday and Frogurt have
Maybe
the
the
same
islands allows it to
constitution.
fit.
Yeah.
And
Well, maybe
Sawyer-
Frogurt is still doing like the oversized grunge kind of thing.
Or I guess he
be
could
it.
be wearing another dead person's clothes too. I guess
Yeah.
when you're like surviving on an island, maybe you don't worry about the size of your shirt. All right, I take it all back. I retract everything.
Faraday emerges from the jungle, and Charlotte gives him a huge hug. Sawyer says Daniel has been gone for 2 hours and wants to know what he was doing. Faraday stammers out something about being lost. Juliet thinks they should take the Zodiac to a shipping lane, but Daniel says, no. We can't just sail out on any course. For us to leave, I need to calculate a new bearing, and to do that, he takes a geared brass apparatus from his backpack and continues, I need to determine where we are now in time.
Wait, so he's got like a tool for this?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Interesting.
I mean,
So
watch.
it's like a sextant, but for
Sextant.
time.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you knew what it was.
Well, no, but they don't use that for time. They just use that to look at the stars, like sailors would use that back in the
Yeah.
Oh, but that's what he
1800s.
had is a sextant. I don't
It
even
looked
think
like
I
a
realized.
Looked
small
like one.
sextant.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right.
Today's fun facts are not on the sextant. I think
Oh,
clearly.
Okay. Charlotte wants to know what the rest of them are supposed to do, and Miles says he's going to get food, and he walks off. And Juliet says, I guess we'll get the water. Back to present day off the island. Hurley is still trying to wake up Saeed. Dude, wake up. Come on. I can't do this on my own. Saeed doesn't stir, so Hurley takes his wallet and removes $20. He promises to pay him back and then positions Saeed's head as upright as possible before putting sunglasses on his face, a la Weekend at Bernie's.
Ben said weekend at Hurley's before,
Yeah.
remember? That's great.
Hurley closes the car door, and then Saeed's head slumps lifelessly back to the right. Inside the gas station convenience store, Cheap Trick's Dream Police plays on the radio. And I'm not going to sing it.
I didn't expect you to sing it, but I thought the lyrics, I mean, considering what Hurley's going through, they're waiting
Oh,
for me, they're
true,
looking
yeah.
for me every single night, they're driving me insane. I just thought,
Those men inside my brain.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I appreciate the small little choices that this show
Oh,
makes.
yeah.
Small little.
Hurley enters, making a beeline for a rack of t-shirts. He chooses a bright yellow one that says, I heart my Shih Tzu.
Favorite dog name on earth.
It is not pronounced shit zoo. It's pronounced sheed zoo.
I like
Sheed
shit zoo better.
Zoo.
SHI, take the H out. T is
No.
shit.
But it's pronounced SHEEDZOO. Point of fact.
I am
I
so
like doing
disappointed.
these things just to annoy the hell out of you.
I know.
Ah.
It is an actual pet peeve of mine.
No, I've actually always called them shit zoos because that's what most every other person calls them.
yes,
that's not-
they say it
No,
wrong.
I know that it's Shih Tzu.
Even people who own them say it wrong. And when you work in the veterinary industry, you hear it a lot, and it just is like a pet peeve. Anyways, it's not
Pet
shit
peeve.
zoo.
That's like when people would come into the bar and order Corvasaur or Grand Mariner.
Oh my
Grand
God.
Mariner?
Grand Mariner.
He takes the shirt to the counter where a lethargic woman with a nose ring is questioning him, first about loving Shih Tzus, then about his passed out friend in the car. Just when the woman starts to ask if she knows Hurley, he notices himself on the news with the caption, triple murder suspect on the screen.
And they've got him with the goddamn gun. It's
I know.
absurd.
He's pretty unique looking, though. You got to get the shirt.
Yeah.
Won't change anything. I mean,
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
The hair.
Yeah.
So she's keeps saying, that he looks familiar, and he keeps saying no. And that's when she realizes that he's the only Oceanic 6 member who won the lottery. He tries to deny it, but she asks him to buy a ticket there because he's good luck and they'll get a commission.
He actually says, I just look like the guy right after we said,
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
looks like him.
Nobody.
I've just got that kind of face.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, he slaps some bills on the counter, tells her to keep the change, and then he leaves. He changes into his new shirt, gets in the car, and tells Saeed they're out of here. He starts the engine, and the tires squeal, and the car pulls out of the gas station parking lot.
That's a great way to not get like people's attention is squeal your fucking tires when you're leaving the gas station.
Yep.
Just pull
with
out
your bright
slowly.
yellow shirt on.
Yeah.
Hurley's not exactly good at, this incognito thing.
No.
Yeah.
So as the SUV departs, a gray sedan pulls into the same parking lot, and Kate is driving the car and stops to pull out a Los Angeles city map.
What are the odds?
Aaron is in the backseat coloring and says, "Mommy, I want to go home."
Shut up,
Shut
you little
up and
shit.
mind your business.
Yeah, shut up, you little shit.
She's just like, "Just look at your book, baby."
Oh, okay.
And she nearly calls Jack on her cell. Instead, she folds up the phone and then it rings. She answers and says, "Hello. I can't believe it's you." "No. Hi, how are you?" "Wait, you're in LA? Of course I can meet. I know exactly where that is. I'll be there in half an hour." She shuts her phone again, and Aaron asks her where they're going, and Kate replies, "To see a friend."
Mind your business, brat.
Pretty much.
Does Lost in My 40s hate children? I think we hate every kid on the show except the ones they fuck.
Huh? What kid? What?
What's her face? Alex.
Yeah, Alex.
The
I forgot her
actress
name.
was overage. He was legal.
Good Lord. Fixate much?
All
And then I
right.
forgot her name for a second. I was trying. I just
me
sat
too.
there like a dum-dum. Thanks for that, Christy. I was like, Danielle's daughter? I can't think. Yeah, Alex is what I meant. Anyways.
In a dark hotel room, Benjamin Linus unscrews a vent cover and removes a case from the shaft.
Woo! Hello.
It's heavy.
Who was
He dumps
the vent
contents into He dumps the contents into his bag while Jack inspects a pair of pants on the floor and looks through the closet. Ben zips up his bag and says, "You're looking for your pills, Jack? I flushed them down the toilet."
Damn.
Oh,
Jack thanks him and says that he was just going to do that.
uh-huh.
Ben tells Jack, "Yeah, that's what I thought."
Yeah.
And he says that they're going to check out of the hotel and Jack will go home and pack anything vital because he's never coming back. And Jack replies, "Good."
Whoa.
Ben says that he'll be moving Locke's casket somewhere safe in the meantime. And Jack says, "Safe? He's dead, isn't he?" Ben
He
replies,
says that.
"Yeah." Ben says, "I'll see you in 6 hours, Jack."
Always Mr. Business. Fucking Jack said that like he thought there might be a chance he wasn't dead. He was like,
Yeah.
Isn't he?
Isn't he?
I mean, the show is
Right.
got all kinds of weird shit going on.
That's
I'm with
true.
Jack on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
He was also paralyzed, wasn't he?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Nobody ever knew.
right. So we have Cheech making a sandwich, giant
Ugh.
fucking sandwich.
Gross
Unreal,
sandwich.
the size of the
Yeah.
sandwich.
Yeah, a bun, lettuce, salami, and like almost a whole fucking jar of caviar. Ugh.
Disgusting.
Well, I love
Just-
caviar, but not with a
I love
sandwich
caviar,
like
but
that.
yeah.
Not like
This
that.
is not the proper application.
You don't eat caviar and cured meat together?
Nope.
Yeah,
It's
that's-
disgusting.
Yeah.
That's that nouveau rich thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
I-
news
I
to the
said-
rich thing. Yep.
I said the
exactly
same
what
thing.
Ben
I was like,
said.
nouveau riche.
When we watched it, that's
Yep.
so funny.
Cheech happily carries his giant fucking sandwich into it's not even like a living room. It's like a
side
little
room.
TV room.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's where he can go to get away from Carmen and eat his giant sandwich and watch the Cobra.
Yep, that's probably right.
So an announcer can be heard saying, "Previously on Expose."
Yes.
I love that it's like previously on Lost. You sort of get that, but
Yeah.
it's expose. I love it.
So Cheech kicks his feet up and puts his plate on his lap. On the TV, tires squeal, and the characters are discussing how the Scorpion is taking over all the Cobra's business. He buries his face in this giant fucking sandwich just as there's a knock at the door.
Fuck.
Someone on the show gets shot and the TV is screaming. His dad turns it off and keeps eating his sandwich as he walks to the front door.
He's hungry.
Nobody's there. He goes to the side door to find Hurley standing with Saeed slung over his shoulders like a fireman carry or something.
Right? How the hell did he get Saeed up there?
Yeah. And Hurley says, "Hey, Dad, how's it going?" Like, this is the most fucking normal thing in the world as he's carrying Saeed into the
To be
house.
honest,
It is.
Saeed is not that big, and Hurley's a big dude. My guess is he could probably carry Saeed.
I'm
Yeah,
just wondering how
probably.
he got him up
He doesn't
there.
look like he's muscular, though, you know?
To
guess
carry that
maybe,
much
like-
weight, though, you've got to have strength. Like,
Yeah.
you
I
might
guess
not
if
have
he was-
strength relative to the proportions of your body, but you've got to be strong.
Right.
And I guess if he was already in the car, I suppose you could sling him over while he's still in the car and then lift like
Yeah,
that.
roll him out of
Yeah.
the seat. And
Yeah, okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. That
Lift,
works.
lift with your knees.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Hurley wants to know if his dad has seen the news, but Cheech says that he just woke up and jokes, "Why? Are you wanted again?" And Hurley's
Uh-oh.
like, yeah, kinda.
Just a little.
There's no kinda about it. You
Yeah.
are.
No, yeah.
He sets Saeed down, and Hurley's dad says that his mom is out. Hurley tells his dad that Saeed was shot by a dart in the safe house. Cheech
boy.
is like, "Safe house?" And Hurley says, "Saeed took me there to protect me. Then these two guys jumped down. They shot him with darts, and now he's in a coma or something."
Oh my God.
Cheech is confused and wants to know how Hurley got out of the mental institution. Hurley says, "Saeed pulled me out. I'm in danger. We both are." And Cheech asks, "Danger from who?" And Hurley says, "I'm not sure exactly." The intercom beeps, and when he pushes the button, they hear, "Mr. and Mrs. Reyes, LAPD. Can you open the gate, please?"
Ruh-roh.
His dad asks Hurley what kind of trouble he's in, and Hurley begs him to lie to the police. His father says, "All right, but then you're going to tell me the truth."
Whew.
Moments later, Mr. Reyes is finished talking to the two police detectives. Hurley watches peering through a distant window as his father takes a business card from the detectives.
Don't do that. Do not look through the window. Just wait till the
I don't-
conversation's
yeah.
done, because what if
Yeah.
What are
one
you
of them
doing?
looks up?
Again, he's really good at being incognito.
Uh-huh.
So Cheech shuts the door and opens the one that Hurley is hiding behind. And he says, "You killed 3 people?" Hurley says, "No, Saeed did." Mr. Reyes says,
my God.
"Oh, well, that's better."
Yeah.
What?
Got him
Yeah.
laying on your couch. That's all.
Dad thinks that we should call an attorney, but Hurley is pleading with him not to because Saeed saved him. And if they go public, the people after them might get them. His dad questions who is after them. And Hurley says, "I don't know. Saeed knows. He can explain." Cheech thinks that Saeed can't explain anything and needs to go to a hospital. And Hurley says, Did you not hear me? People are trying to kill us. We go to a hospital, they'll find us. Like the Godfather. It's the last place you go. Everyone knows it. They smother you with pillows and make it look like an accident.
Oh my God.
Hurley is frantically trying to wake Saeed when his father says, "That's not going to work. We need a doctor." And Hurley says, "I think I know what to do."
Hmm.
Where do we have a doctor? A hotel elevator dings, people leave, and Kate and Aaron enter. He's excited to push the button. Kate lifts him so he can reach the top floor button. She cheers for him when he pushes it.
It's actually
enter
kind of
the
a cute
penthouse.
little scene.
Yeah, he's not
Together.
being a pain
Yeah.
in the ass.
No, he's not. And you see that, like, you see her being motherly, which is, you know,
Yeah, I would
not.
never imagine that to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, neither could she, right?
Right.
Yeah. So they enter the lobby for the penthouse and ring the doorbell when they arrive. And the door opens and Kate says, "Hi." And Son replies, "Hello, Kate."
Oh.
Whoa.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow. Hey, Aaron, go play in traffic. We'll be...
Oh
Next,
my
we see Ben
God.
Linus entering a butcher shop as the blonde woman in a white coat cleaves meat on the counter for a customer. Ben takes number 342 and waits. The customer leaves and the butcher says, "Hello, Ben. If it's the porterhouse you're looking for, we're out." He replies, No porterhouse. "I do, however, have something very important in my van, Jill, and I need you to watch it for me." Jill wonders if it's what she thinks it is, and Ben confirms it. She
What?
says, "He'll be safe with me."
What? What?
Having lock steaks tonight.
Oh my
Yep.
God. That's how they get back to the island. They have to eat lock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least the legs won't have too much muscle in them.
Ben wants to know if Gabriel and Jeffrey have checked in yet. She tells him everything is moving according to schedule and asks about Jack.
What is going on?
Ben says that Jack is with them, and Jill says, "Really? What'd you do? Bribe him with some pills?"
Whoop.
Whoa.
A stern Ben Linus replies, "Cut the man some slack. He's been through a lot. We all have."
Damn. Did you ever think you'd see Ben Linus defending Jack Shepard?
Oh, shit. Jack and Jill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jill apologizes, and before leaving, Ben says, "So keep him safe, Jill, because if you don't, everything we're about to do won't matter at all."
Whoa.
Whoa.
Derek, what the fuck is going on in this scene?
This is like some kind of mafia thing. I figure they're going to go chop up the body,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, who are these people?
Who are these people and what are they about to do?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So back on the beach somewhere in time, it's dark now, and they are still rubbing those sticks together. Vincent's whining. So suddenly there's a small flame that you can see in the darkness. Rose starts cheering, and Bernard, who's been doing all the rubbing with his bow, blows on the tiny flame.
Fucking dentist.
He accidentally blows it completely out. Rose wants to know, why did he do that? Bernard says, "'Cause you're supposed to fan a flame." Frogurt starts to criticize, and Rose tells him he needs a timeout. Rose finally is encouraging, and she asks Bernard to try again.
Yeah, she's actually defensive of him with Frogurt.
Yeah, she's
Frogurt
like, "I'm the
backing.
only one who can treat him like shit.
Exactly.
He's my punching boy."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess that could be too.
Whipping boy. Punching bag. Whipping
Yeah,
boy.
well.
She said
Whatever.
punching boy.
Whatever. We're on the island. It's a
post,
punching boy.
Wow. Thank you.
A little
for
ways
that.
up the beach, Charlotte approaches Faraday, who's been sitting alone by the surf. She's got a couple of mangoes that she brought from the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
He sees her, and he puts his journal and his gear apparatus back into his pack.
Whoa. Was he wanking it again?
Probably. That's like a
Well, she just walked
Precursor
out
to
with
the
her.
flash-
to do.
precursor
Yeah.
to the flashlight.
She walked out with her mangoes. Well, what else was he supposed to
Mhm.
do?
So she gives him a mango. He thanks her, and then she winces in pain. She tells him she's got a headache and she can't get rid of it. Daniel basically says it'll eventually pass, but Charlotte says, "No, it's not just that. It's the weirdest thing. Earlier, I was thinking about my mom, and all of a sudden, I couldn't remember her maiden name. I mean,
Dennis.
Isn't that odd?" Faraday brushes it off, saying that they're all under a lot of stress. And Charlotte looks at him and says, "Daniel, do you know what's happening to me?"
Well, does he?
I do. Or does he? Yeah.
Remember when we first met them and Daniel was having memory loss?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She was futzing with the
cards.
Not really the right word. Yeah, but the cards, like flipping them over
Yeah.
and testing them. Yeah.
So just then, Miles yells, "Dinner!" and the entire camp turns to see Miles carrying a boar over his shoulders.
Man.
The fuck?
They want to
He's
know
useful.
how it got. Yeah, they want to know how he got it. And he says, "It died in the jungle. I found it. Don't worry. It's fine. It's only been dead 3 hours."
Hold up,
How would you
hold
know
up.
that?
Does he talk to dead boars?
Apparently,
Wow.
but I'm not going to eat an animal that died of natural causes.
Honestly,
Why-
yeah, that might be
why not?
right. Well, if it dies of, it depends on the
A
natural
heart
cause.
attack?
If the
As
natural
long as
cause
it's not
is,
rotting, it's meat.
yes, if
Yeah.
it's infection or something, then yeah, you wouldn't want to eat it. But I don't know how you would be able to. I guess there would be signs if an animal was sick. Also, I guess if Miles talks to dead boars, then he could have just asked, "Hey, man, you healthy?" And be like, "Yeah, go ahead, have at it."
Miles just finds one and he goes up to the boar and just tells it, "Kill yourself."
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, because he only talks to the dead. He doesn't talk to alive boars. I don't think.
That'll
It's like
do,
Dr.
pig.
Doolittle. Maybe we don't know. Could be.
Maybe he has more than one skill.
Hmm.
Anyway, Miles is struggling to pull the skin off the boar with his bare hands, and asks if anybody has a knife. Frogurt says, "A knife? You need a knife? Oh, it's over by the Cuisinart next to the stove."
You know what? Fuck
Miles
you,
wants to know
Frogurt.
what his problem is, and Frogurt says, "My problem is we don't have a knife. We don't have anything. And it wouldn't even matter if we did, because Bernie the dentist can't even start a fire."
Oh my God.
Damn.
Sawyer tells Frogurt to ease up, and Frogurt yells, "It's Neil, you inbred!"
Oh,
Oh my God.
I figure Sawyer's going to whip his ass right here.
He was about
so
to.
Sawyer moves in to do a little ass whooping, and Juliet intercepts and pulls him away from the confrontation. Frogurt loses it and screams, "I'm not going to ease up, because I'm tired, and I'm hungry, and I'm screwed. We're all screwed." Juliet tries to comfort him, but he keeps screaming, "How are any of us going to get through this? Didn't you hear what I just said? We can't even get fire." Just then, a flaming arrow flies out of the jungle and hits Frogurt in the chest.
Love it.
Yay!
Yes.
The blessed release.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
You got
God.
your fire, asshole.
Amazing.
His entire torso bursts into flames. Frogurt screams, Rose gasps, and they all look to the jungle to see at least a dozen flaming arrows headed their way. Sawyer yells, "Run!"
I wonder if Rose looks at Bernie. Well, they can start fires.
Oh my God. Did you also notice that when they took off, there was suddenly like 100 of them?
I know. They're like rats when you turn the light, or like cockroaches when you turn the light on. They're just.
But I was just like, are there really that many of them left alive? I guess I stopped counting how many people died, but it just looked like a huge crowd running through the trees.
Yeah, it was like 15
Anyways.
Scotts, 4 Steves. I mean, there was a.
Yeah.
All right.
Several more flaming arrows hit the sand. One of them strikes Miles' boar, causing Miles to jump up in a panic. Everyone shouts and screams as they run away from the arrows. Faraday grabs his pack, and he and Charlotte run for it. Arrows whoosh and strike everywhere around them. Another arrow strikes Frogurt. He screams and collapses. Vincent's barking. People are screaming. Sawyer shouts, "Split up! Everybody get to the creek!" Arrows whoosh. A woman screams. Daniel's pulling Charlotte along. She collapses in the sand as a flaming arrow sticks into a tree trunk right next to her head. She screams, "Ow! Dan!" Faraday backs up and helps her up. A red shirt with a flaming arrow stuck in his side collides with a tree trunk.
That was actually really funny. He just sort of
Yeah.
ran head first into a tree.
Sawyer takes cover behind a tree, but a flaming arrow hits the trunk.
Son
Another
of a
red shirt is
bitch.
shot with a flaming arrow right in his belly, and he falls to the ground. Juliet, who's been helping a woman flee, kneels beside him and attempts to extinguish the fire by smothering it with sand. Arrows continue whooshing all around her, and people scream. Sawyer sees Juliet come back for her, grabbing her away from the fallen man. Sawyer says, "Come on, he's dead."
All right, I'm going to interject right here on
He
several
was
things.
so mad at this.
One. He got hit in the stomach with an arrow.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not dead.
He's not dead. He's
No.
gut shot, and he's in a really, really bad way, but he's not dead, and that's dumb. The second would be, why would you fire flaming arrows at these people? What are you going? Okay, if
Because it looks cool.
if you want to kill them,
Tracers.
you would not use arrow. You would not use flaming arrows. You just use arrows. 2, fire. What are you burning? They don't have a camp. They got nothing. Are you just going to light the sand on fire? None of it makes any sense.
And also, when the arrows hit them, they all of a sudden burst into flames like there's some
Yes.
sort of,
Yeah.
propellant on. I mean,
Yeah. Plus, you're firing all these, so people can see the arrows. They're like, okay, I'm not going to go that way because there's arrows flying that way. If nobody lights up the arrows, then it's a lot more terrifying if it's all happening in the dark.
Yep.
All I'm saying is it looks cool, and that's
It
why.
looks cool.
Well, they
I
could
get
use
that,
it like
but-
tracers to light up the area so they can see who they're shooting at.
I can imagine you firing 3 or 4 arrows in there, something like that. But yeah, there's no like
Right.
back. It's not like they started with an arrow volley and then came in and attacked with melee fighters or anything. They just fired arrows.
kept firing arrows. They had a lot of them too.
They seem to have a lot of them. Yeah. Okay.
Do you wanna write a letter?
That was just my thing. Yeah. I'm definitely going to
Yeah,
write a letter on this
yeah.
one.
All right, Christy, get us back to the attack.
So Sawyer says, "Come on, he's dead." Juliet doesn't want to believe it. She has succeeded in putting out the flames, and she tries checking his pulse. Sawyer pulls her away and says, "Come on, you want to be dead too? There's nothing you could have done. We gotta go now."
Definitely a lot that could have been
You could
done.
have pulled the arrow out of him.
She basically succeeded in putting sand in his wound and then leaving.
I know.
They run, and Juliet looks back to see more arrows whooshing as they flee.
Whoosh.
Present day off the island. Hurley is looking outside of an upstairs window at the black sedan parked across the street from his house. One of the detectives brings the other detective a coffee. Hurley says, "Dude, they're on a stakeout?" His father says, "You just escaped from a mental institution. There's dead bodies everywhere. Of course they're on a stakeout. They think you're crazy enough to come back home. So, are you?"
Apparently,
Crazy?
yes. He's there in the home.
I mean, he was crazy enough to come back home.
Yeah.
Hurley wants to know if that's what his father believes, and Cheech says, "Well, either that or you're lying to me." Hurley says that he's not lying and he's not crazy, or that he's not crazy and he has a good reason to lie. His dad wants to know what the reason is when suddenly Hurley's mom can be heard saying, "Why is there a dead Pakistani on my couch?"
Best line of the show, of this episode at the very least. I almost peed my pants the first time.
I really
she said that.
expected Hurley to say, "He's not Pakistani, he's Iraqi."
Yeah, I know. I did too. But fucking hilarious. I love Carmen. She's so great.
Dead, Hurley says, "He's not dead, Ma." Carmen says, "Well, he's not breathing." So Hurley runs downstairs to check. Cheech tells his wife it's okay because they have a plan. She
Oh
says,
my God.
"The plan? What are you talking about?" Saeed is still breathing, but Hurley thinks that they need to get going now. So the men grab Saeed and carry him through the house. Carmen wants to know what's happening and says, "Why are you all over the news? Do you know what they're telling about you?" Hurley promises that everything will eventually make sense, and Carmen says, "It better." Outside the house, the garage door opens, and Cheech's red SUV pulls out of the space next to Hurley's Camaro. As he passes the cops, he smiles and waves and says, "Officers?"
Fires up a blunt.
Kate is pouring tea and asking Son how long she'll be in LA. Son said just a few days as she's attending to some business. She pulls out a baby picture of Ji Yeon and shows it to Kate. Son says it would be nice to see Aaron and Ji Yeon playing together one day. Son notices that Kate seems on edge and asks her what is wrong, and Kate replies, "Somebody knows we're lying. Some lawyers came to see me. 2 men. They came to my house and they asked for a blood sample. Some kind of lawsuit. They wanted to test to see if Aaron's my son." Son wants to know who the lawyers represent, but Kate doesn't know. Son thinks they aren't interested in exposing the lie if they didn't identify their client. And Kate questions this, but Son says, because if they were, they would just do it. They wouldn't come to you in private. They don't care that we're lying. They just want Aaron.
Who's they,
Son
Derek?
tells, yeah.
Yes,
Who is it?
they?
Do you have guesses?
Who are they?
Maybe working for Widmore? Who knows?
Maybe working for Linus.
Or Linus? Yeah, because they need Aaron back. That's right.
He's one of the ones they need back. Yep.
Son tells Kate that she needs to take care of whoever this is. Kate acts surprised and says, "What do you mean, take care of them?" Son questions if Kate would do anything she has to keep Aaron safe. Kate's offended and says, "What kind of person do you think I am? I think you're the kind of person who would blow up a fucking house with your dad in it to keep your mom from getting beat."
That's right.
That's right.
Well, and then as Son will get into it, that's what she's saying about Kate. She's somebody that does what she has to, and I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are they
All
just
right.
trying to get Aaron, though? Because Kate has to go, too.
Because if she's definitely
Right.
saying she's not going and you take Aaron, then Aaron is leverage. They can compel her to go if they're saying Aaron is going, so you have to go.
Is that what you think?
That's what I think. Yeah. That would be
Interesting.
the strategy.
That's true.
That would be the strategy I would take if this were an absolute necessity and this
Kidnapping
person was
is your
was
strategy.
Because
intractable.
Linus must
Yes,
know that Kate is
if it's-
definitely not going.
Yeah, if it's existential in the way that they're describing, then the only way you're going to leverage her is through her child.
Okay. We got some theories going on.
The scene is now changing back and forth from clips of the Oceanic 6 on the helicopter leaving Jin to the two women. While we watch Kate tell Sun to get on the chopper while she gets Jin, and then turns around to leave him when Jack tells her to. Sun answers her question. You're the kind of person who makes hard decisions when she has to, like you did on the freighter. You told me to get on the helicopter and you said you'd get Jin, but you did what you had to do. And if you hadn't, we probably all would have died instead of just my husband. Kate's crying and she says that she's sorry more than once. Sun takes her hand and says she doesn't blame her. Kate forces a pained-looking smile and Sun says, so, how's Jack? And the smile disappears from Kate's face.
Hold up.
It did sound like...
menacing.
It did. Yeah. Is she trying to kill Ben and Jack?
What?
No.
Wow.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Nah.
No.
Seems mad at Jack, though, doesn't she?
She seems like she knows something.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think. It sounds like she knows something and she's trying to see if Kate is going to, be truthful.
I see. Okay.
So Cheech is in a parking garage, leading Jack to the SUV where Saeed is lying unconscious in the trunk. Jack confirms what Hurley said about being able to trust him. Jack wants to know what happened to Saeed and begins to examine him. Hurley's dad says Saeed was hit with some kind of drugged dart. Jack wants to know where Hurley is, and his dad says, at our house, freaking out. Jack insists on taking Saeed to the hospital. Cheech says Hurley fears someone will come for Saeed if they go to the hospital, but Jack says, all due respect, Mr. Reyes, but you brought him to me, so I'm going to do what I think is best for Saeed. Mr. Reyes replies, all right, fine, take him to the hospital, but with all due respect to you, Dr. Shepard, when this is over, you're going to do something for me. Stay away from Hugo. Whatever it is you talked him into, something tells me you don't have his best interests at heart. So stay away from my son.
Stay away from my meal ticket is what he means.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
No, because at this point, he's already got all the money.
True.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I feel like Cheech redeems himself a little bit in the interactions that he has with Hurley when he shows back up into his life. Like clearly he showed up for the money and that was like his MO. But it seems to me that he has either learned some skills or I don't know, maybe he was able to tap into them once financial security was there. But I think he seems to be like supportive of Hurley.
I don't trust him.
Now, at least. You think so too, Derek, though?
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
I think he's redeemed himself a little bit.
Okay, Ben's not convinced.
I'm not convinced.
No, I think that he's actually...
And Jack didn't talk him into it anyways.
Yeah. But I think that Cheech is actually, telling him to stay away from his son because he just keeps getting him into trouble.
Yeah.
Anyhow, a siren wails and tire screeches. Jack pulls up to the ER, just as an ambulance does as well. As Jack parks, he makes a phone call. Ben Linus answers on the other end, and Jack says, Ben, you'll never guess who just showed up at my door.
Oh, I'm sure Ben knew that.
Back at Hurley's mansion, his mother is serving him soda while he's looking dismal. She's questioning him about who Saeed really is. Hurley says that he's a friend, but he also has a double life where he does crazy ninja moves and spy stuff. Carmen says, a good guy doesn't kill 3 men. A good guy doesn't kill any men.
Wrong.
Yeah, that's just a silly statement.
Ain't you ever heard of a good guy with a gun?
Oh, gosh. That is not what I meant.
I know, I'm kidding. She sits next to him and leans in and says, the news thinks you did this. And if the news does, everyone does. Why is
Fake
this
news.
happening? How can anybody want to hurt you? Hurley says he doesn't know, so she tugs at his chin and says, tell your mother the truth. Hurley finally breaks and he lets it all out. We lied, Ma. All of us. The Oceanic 6. We lied about what happened after the crash. Okay? See, we did crash, but it was on this crazy island. And we waited for rescue, and there wasn't any rescue. And then there was a smoke monster. And there were other people on the island. We called them the others. And they started attacking us. And we found some hatches. And there was a button you had to push every 108 minutes or... Well, I was never really clear on that. But the others didn't have anything to do with the hatches. That was the Dharma Initiative.
Oh
The
my
others
God.
killed them, and now they're trying to kill us. And then we teamed up with the others because some worse people were coming on a freighter.
Oh my God.
Desmond's girlfriend's father sent them to kill us. So we stole their helicopter and we flew it to their freighter, but it blew up. And we couldn't go back to the island because it disappeared. So when we crashed into the ocean and we floated there for a while until a boat came and picked us up.
Oh
And
my
by
God.
then there were 6 of us. That part was true. But the rest of the people who were on the plane, they're still on that island.
Whoa.
His mother puts her hand on her wrist and says, I believe you. I don't understand you, but I believe you.
Oh.
Visibly shaken, Hurley replies, a lot of people died, Ma. And now this bad stuff is happening because we shouldn't have lied.
Okay. So this was the scene that I was talking about earlier. I love Carmen and the way that she supports him when he lets it all out, and she doesn't just say, like, you sound like a
What
fucking
the fuck
maniac.
are you talking about?
Yeah, head
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
the institution, son.
Yep. The fact she says, I believe you. And like, this is actually like sort of psychologically correct. When someone is having a delusion, you validate, their experience. Now, of course, his isn't a delusion, but it just sounds like it. But the way that she, supports him is just like, I believe this is your experience. I don't understand it, but I'm here for you. It's commendable. And I just thought it was a really great moment in the show. And that both of his parents, I think, are being incredibly supportive to him right now. And I just thought it was nice.
So back on the time-traveling island, it's dark in the jungle. Julia and Sawyer are trudging on when Sawyer stumbles. Julia turns back and whispers to find out if he's okay. Sawyer examines his foot and he sees that a small, sharp twig has stuck deeply into the ball of his bare left foot.
That
That's
was
a big ass
disgusting.
twig too.
Yeah.
That's like the size of those
Yeah.
darts that went into Saeed's neck. Like those are fucking
I think
huge.
they'd be calloused by now.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, they've had shoes, though.
Yeah.
So he
never had
pulls
the
the stick
cobbler.
out and he whispers, son of a bitch. He wants to keep pushing on to meet everyone at the creek. Juliet wonders exactly where on the creek, and an annoyed Sawyer says, I don't know, the wet part.
Oh my God.
Sorry if my plan's not up to the other's stamp. But before he can finish, there's a rustling in the leaves. Footsteps approach. Sawyer and Juliet step back and crouch behind some cover. They observe a man in a uniform walking with a rifle.
What?
The man passes and Sawyer wonders out loud if that's who was firing on them. Juliet says, you want me to crawl out there and ask him?
Oh my God. She is sassy in this scene.
She is. Sawyer's complaining about her being a wise ass when suddenly he's complaining about somebody
Yes.
being a
I
wise
know,
ass.
I know.
Right,
Yes.
I know.
Hot kettle black.
Yes.
Right. Suddenly, Juliet is grabbed by the hair and lifted up. She gasps and Sawyer says, hey, and jumps up. But just then, another uniformed man comes out of the darkness to grab him and put a machete to his neck. Sawyer grunts, Juliet pants, and a third man with a name labeled Jones on his uniform points a rifle at them. In a British accent, Jones says, what are you doing on our island?
What?
Whoa.
Now, one thing, though, why would they use flaming arrows if they had rifles?
Are these even the same people?
Or is it the same people?
I told you it looks cool.
And wait a second. There's a British person on the island and they're wearing an older kind of British uniform.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Who do we
World
know
War
that's
II type
British
or
and is
something.
older? I don't know.
So back to off the island, Jack lays Saeed down on an OR table and puts a face mask on him while a voice on the PA is paging a respiratory therapist. Jack places ECG electrodes on Saeed's chest, and the ECG monitor shows a fairly steady heart rhythm. Jack goes into a supply closet, pulls a vial, and draws some liquid out of it with a syringe.
This is a very loosey-goosey operation they've got at this
I
hospital.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. Wow.
He injects the drug into Saeed's arm. Jack pulls up Saeed's eyelids and shines a penlight into his eyes. Saeed's eyes are unfocused and distant, but suddenly they focus on Jack. Saeed grabs Jack by the throat and chokes him before realizing who it is.
Good thing he didn't snap his neck.
Yeah.
Be like, oops.
Jack starts to comfort him while Saeed gasps and pants. Jack tells him that he's in the hospital and Hurley's father brought him there. Saeed wants to know where Hurley is, and Jack says that he thinks he's at his house, maybe with his mother. Saeed asks, does anyone else know he's there?
Ruh-roh.
Do they? One person might.
It's
Hurley
no
is
wonder.
waiting.
It's no wonder their fucking doctors in that hospital are like all addicts. They just leave their drugs randomly, like in
everywhere.
rooms.
Various cabinets. Yeah, they don't have that machine where it meters it out.
Yeah, no control whatsoever.
Easily accessible.
Uh-huh.
Hurley's waiting for the microwave to ding so he can grab his Hot Pocket. When it does, he grabs it and drops the pocket onto a stack of napkins.
Puts a little
A
caviar
shadowy
on top
figure
of it.
steps into the kitchen. Yeah, seriously.
What did you say, Ben?
Said he puts a little caviar on top of it.
Oh, no.
Caviar in a Hot Pocket.
Caviar in a Hot Pocket.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
my God. So a shadowy figure steps in the kitchen.
Then Linus says, hello, Hugo.
Oh,
Hurley screams and throws the Hot Pocket at Ben.
I love it. It squishes on the wall so fucking funny.
Yep.
It hits the door frame and leaves a greasy mark on the wall. Hurley starts screaming, get away from me, get away. Ben says, Hugo, I know you're in trouble, and I can assure you that I've taken care of everything. I have a car waiting for us out back. The police didn't see me come in. I can get you out of here. Hurley refuses, saying that Saeed warned him about Ben. Ben says, I'm taking you to Saeed. He's with Jack.
Huh?
That's why I'm here, Hugo. Jack called me.
It's
How else would I know?
amazing. It's amazing that the one fucking time this man decides to tell the truth, Hurley's been programmed to do the opposite of what he says.
Yeah.
He says, that's why I'm here, Hugo. Jack called me. How else would I know they're together? Hurley refuses to believe that Jack and Saeed would trust Ben. And Ben says, in their defense, I'm not an easy person to trust.
Very
But they
truthful.
came around when they realized that we all want the same thing, to go back to the island. Come with us, Hugo, and this will be over.
Yes.
You can stop hiding. You can stop worrying about the stories and the deceptions. If you come with me, you won't ever have to lie again. Please let me help you.
Whoa.
Hurley replies, never, dude. Running out of the house to the detective, screaming,
Yes.
Hey, you got me. That's right. You got me. That's right. I'm the killer. Ben watches from near the house.
Oh my
The
God.
detective tells him to get on the ground, and Hurley complies, saying, I'm the killer. I'm crazy. I'm a murderer. I killed 4 people, 3 people, however many are dead. I killed them. I killed them all.
Oh my
Just get me away from here.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that was
Hurley.
great.
Oh, my God.
The detectives handcuff Hurley and read him his rights, and a sad-faced Ben goes back into the house. Hurley, smiling, gets to his feet and leaves with the police.
Yep.
Oh, my God. This episode is wild.
Back on the island, Juliet grunts as she's thrown down to the ground. Jones covers Sawyer with his rifle. The other 2 uniformed men press Juliet against a rock. One of them has a name label Cunningham, and the other one wears a cap that's labeled Mattingly. Jones says, I'm going to make this quite simple for you. You're going to tell me what you're doing, how many of you there are, and how you got here. Sawyer tells them to let Juliet go, and Jones says, unless you're answering my questions, don't speak. And I want you to tell me everything, or I'll cut off her other hand. Sawyer says, other? And Jones says, the first one isn't negotiable.
Jesus
As Mattingly
fucking
unsheaths
Christ.
his machete.
Wow.
I know,
Dude,
seriously.
What the fuck?
The men move to cut off Juliet's hand when Sawyer gives in and says, hold on, chill out. We're not supposed to be here. Something's happening to the island. There are these flashes. Jones screams, do it. Juliet screams, no. And Sawyer yells, wait a second. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Jones ignores him and again yells, do it. Mattingly draws back to strike when a large rock hits him in the head.
Bam.
He falls to the ground with a grunt and a thud. Jones points his rifle in the direction of the rock attack, but gets a rock to the head himself.
Boom.
Sawyer charges at Cunningham, tackling him, straddling him, and beating him.
Fuck yeah.
Juliet takes up
I was
Jones's
picturing
rifle and
another
covers
kind
him.
of beating.
And straddling.
He beats
Plowing.
Yeah.
Whatever you gotta do, man.
him.
Jones looks up at Juliet. Mattingly gets up and raises his machete to kill Juliet when she isn't looking. Suddenly, a knife flies out of the darkness into Mattingly's side.
Man,
He
great
collapses
aim.
and footsteps approach. He hands pull the knife from Mattingly's abdomen, and Locke says, "James, Juliet, nice to see you."
Not to mention, again, we have a knife that hits somebody in the midsection, and when they go down,
And
they
they
don't
go down
and
move.
they're
They're dead. These people are their constitution is not very high.
No.
That was our first Lock in a Box moment of season 5.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
That was quite an entrance. There was a
Knives Out.
sploosh there for me. I enjoyed it very
Great
much.
aim
enjoyed
with
it.
those rocks, too.
Yeah, seriously, he's like a hobbit, and then that knife just kills a guy when throwing it. Like he's
I don't think there's
lethal.
anything in the side that would be instant death.
No,
not at all.
No, not at all.
No, it would take a little while. Yeah, I mean, you could hit a kidney.
He's got another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
That's
hit him
true.
hit him in the guts, and they'll die over like 2 days. You know.
Yeah.
Get sepsis and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
Lovely. Christy, take us to the last scene of episode 2.
Present day off the island. We are now in a dark secret lair.
Ooh.
A Folkert's pendulum whooshes quickly across the room, filled with file cabinets, relic columns, and a chalkboard filled with mathematical equations. A hooded figure adds to them hurriedly, the chalk banging at the board. The figure draws a universal set symbol backwards, erases it, then adds it again and continues. Whoosh goes the pendulum. A computer beeps. It's an old Apple III with a monochrome green and black screen, similar to the computer seen in the Swan Station. The hooded figure sits down at the keyboard and taps away quickly. The monitor displays a crude world map. The pendulum, which has chalk at its end, makes another whoosh across the room and marks another crosshatch on the floor, creating an asterisk, marking a position on a chart of the Pacific Ocean.
What?
The map on the computer monitor bears several similar asterisks, and the words "Event window determined" blink across the screen.
Huh?
The hooded figure stops typing, then turns and looks at the pendulum as it creates several more marks. She pulls a flashlight from her desk, gets up, and exits the chamber through a large metal vault door, then crosses a dark room and climbs a spiral staircase into a church filled with votive candles. Benjamin Linus is lighting one of them.
Oh,
He turns, the figure removes her hood, showing a familiar hairdo, and spreads out a cloth on the altar. He asks her if she's had any luck, and she tells him yes in a familiar voice. Ben seems surprised. He tells her he's having some difficulties, and she replies, "Well, you better get busy because you only have 70 hours.
70.
Ben says he needs more time, and she tells him what he needs is irrelevant. She turns to face him, and we see that it's the creepy time travel lady that Desmond met in a previous season.
Say what?
She says, 70 hours is what you've got. Ben wants to know what happens if he can't get them all to go back to the island, and the creepy time travel lady replies, "Then God help us all."
What?
Lost title screen, end of the episode.
What an ending.
Ooh. You notice that's the same thing Dr. Chang said?
Yes.
God help us all in the first episode. And now she's repeating it. Oh, I got goosebumps again. Yeah. I love the creepy time travel lady.
It's ironic that's what we named her.
Well, I mean, that's what we thought was going on
Yeah.
in The Constant, right? So,
Yep.
but yeah, she does appear to be the creepy time travel lady. They got 70 hours to do what, Derek?
Probably get back to the island, I'd imagine.
Uh-huh. All right. Season 5, episode 2, fun facts. You guys readily. Today's fun facts are on the Foucault pendulum. It's a simple device named after French physicist Leon Foucault. The pendulum was introduced in 1851 and was the first experiment to give simple, direct evidence of the Earth's rotation. So, how does it work? Unlike other pendulums with a fixed point at the top, the Foucault pendulum has an added feature of a frictionless ball bearing where the rope attaches to the ceiling. This means that the ceiling can spin in circles and not transmit that spinning to the rope of the pendulum. So the pendulum swings back and forth in a straight line forever. Did I just say the ceiling is spinning? Yes, I did. Since the Earth is spinning on its axis and the building is attached to the Earth and the ceiling is attached to the building, the ceiling is effectively spinning. However, because of the special connection, the ceiling cannot transfer that spinning to the pendulum. So, to complete the experiment, what one has to do is set 24 cylinders around the room. This was the original experiment, I should say. Around the room at the ends of where the pendulum swings. As the Earth spins, the room spins, and the pendulum stays in the same space. So eventually, a cylinder will move into the path of the pendulum and get knocked down. So over 24 hours, each one of those would get knocked down because the Earth is moving. However, it's important to understand that the only place that it would actually take 24 hours to do that would be on the North and the South Pole. At other latitudes, the experiment would take longer. You guys can figure that physics out for yourself. For example, the original, which I just described, that had the 24 cylinders, in Paris, it actually took 32 hours to complete the cycle and knock them all down. Foucault pendulums today are popular displays in science museums and universities. I was lucky enough to see one as a child. I'm wondering if you may have as well, Christy, growing up in Maryland, because going to the Smithsonian was often like a field trip in school. And
Lucky.
there was, no shit. There was a Foucault pendulum on display at the National Museum of History and Technology from January 1st, 1964 to October 30th, 1988. It was enormous, and I do recall it as a child. It was basically the whole downstairs floor of the entrance of the museum, and the pendulum had a 240-pound brass hollow bob suspended by a 54-foot steel cable from the ceiling of the fourth floor. It was really cool. They didn't have anything that like knocked down like the experiment did, but it would just swing back and forth across a pattern on the floor, much like the creepy time travel ladies. Ben, do you have anything to say about the Foucault pendulum? I assumed this is some knowledge you would have picked up along the way.
No, I think you covered it. It's cool. I mean, it's the way that a lot of the experiments that were done, back in the day before figuring out, the diameter of the Earth and all that type of stuff and the distance to the sun, like all that type of stuff is really cool the way they did it. Because
right, this is 1851. So
yeah,
the original experiment. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It is not going to be the last of the Foucault pendulum that we see in this show.
The Earth is not the center of the universe and it's not flat? What? No one would ever believe that now.
No.
Oh, God. Okay, folks. Let's do some best and worst moments. Ben, I'm going to start with you today.
Favorite was probably throwing the hot pocket at the wall.
Yeah.
Then I already discussed my least favorite was the arrow assault scene or the fire arrow scene. That whole thing was just kind of dumb. I also really enjoyed like Locke's entrance, showing up, whooping ass, throwing knives in people's back, and then just being like, "Hey, nice to see y'all."
Derek, what about you?
My best moment was when Hurley turned himself into the police so he didn't have to go with Ben Linus.
That was an incredible moment. Yeah.
And
Never,
also,
dude. That was
never,
good.
dude. Because for a little bit, like when they had a close up on his face, like he might have been contemplating, well, maybe I won't go with them. But then it was like, nope, I'm out. And also when Frogurt got the burning arrow in his chest when he was bitching about the fire.
Mm-hmm.
But that was also part of the worst moment was that whole lame arrow scene.
Okay. Yeah, I had Fried Frogurt as my best moment. Also, a quote, "Why is there a dead Pakistani on my couch?" Fucking loved it. I didn't have a worst moment. I loved every fucking moment of this episode. I just thought that it was just great. Christy, what about you?
Frogurt getting it to the chest with the flaming arrow was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the best moment to me was at the end where Locke saves the day.
Okay.
And for me, the worst moment was Hurley turning himself in.
You hated it.
Like I mean, I know that he did it to stay away from Ben, which
right, but now he's in jail.
Just fucking told him to do. But yeah, now he's like admitting to murders that he did not commit.
Yeah.
So that part sucks.
Agreed. I'm excited. We're about to jump into our second addition to this season's Power Rankings. Let's start with Derek.
So my second worst, because I didn't have a third worst, is Rose for just treating Bernard like shit and being a general pain in the ass. I mean, she was just grating. I mean, she did kind of redeem herself a little bit, by defending him against Frogurt, who is my first worst for just being a whiny little bitch and one of the most annoying characters in a long time.
Yeah.
My third best was Ana Lucia.
Hey.
For helping Hurley, and there's just something about her.
She's hot.
Well, yeah, booty. I mean, I'm really not into the women that are built like that, but there's something about her.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
My second best is Ben Linus, because he is Ben Linus and he's getting everyone together to go back to the island. And my best, of course, was Hurley, because he was great in this episode. Came clean to his mother and helped Saeed. And I'm going to fuck Sun, because she looked good in that penthouse. And I'm going to kill Frogurt. Stick another burning arrow in his chest.
Wow. I only had one in the bottom, and that was Frogurt. I didn't put Rose there only because she slightly redeemed herself, so I kind of took her off my worst list. But other than that, yeah, she was pretty annoying. My top is a sweep for the Reyes family. I've got Cheech in third, Carmen in second, and Hurley at the top. That's two for Hurley already. I just loved the way the family came together. I mean, normally I wouldn't encourage anyone to hide someone that the police is looking for. Although, well, I guess Saeed was guilty. So I don't know, that's questionable. But the way that his mom and dad just supported Hurley while he was trying to sort this mess out, I loved. And so I sweeped for the Reyes family. My fuck was very closely going to be a second threesome. I was gonna do Kate and Son at a tea party as they were having, but then Locke, he just made this entrance, and I went sploosh, and so I'm fucking Locke this week, and I'm gonna kill Frogurt. Fuck him, yeah. I'll add an arrow to that chest. Ben, how about you?
Let's see. At the bottom, I've actually have in third place. I have Bernard for not sticking up for himself and telling a bitch to shut up.
Jesus.
In second place, I've got Rose because she's constantly ragging him and beating up on him, and of course, at the bottom, Frogurt. I mean, more than a red shirt. I mean, he's just like somebody that you're just begging for him to die. The second he opens his mouth, it's like, oh God, you need to go. And at the top, I've only got two characters. I've got Ben Linus in second place, and I've got Hurley in first. Let's see. And I guess it's because, with the Reyes family, I do believe that his mother really cares about him, but I still don't buy it with his dad. This could just be speaking to my own daddy issues, maybe.
Yeah. We're going to agree to disagree on that one. That's okay.
I think we're going to clean sweep with Frogurt here getting my kill, and I'm going to fuck Ana Lucia.
Oh.
Hey, nice choice. So wait, so far we've got a Hurley sweep at the top and a Frogurt sweep at the bottom.
Yeah. We had a Dan Faraday sweep last week, too. So
yeah. Well, let's see what Christy does.
So, third worst, Aaron. Just
hey, Aaron. Yes. Fucking kid.
Shut up.
We hate children at Lost in My 40s. All of us. God damn.
It's because we don't have kids. We can actually do this,
Yeah, right.
If we had kids, we wouldn't be doing a fucking podcast.
Oh, there's a good point.
Well, by now, they might be grown if you had them.
That's true. We're old enough to have kids in college.
That's true. Oh, Christ. Thank God.
Oh, Christ. Sorry, Christy. Go ahead.
In the middle of the bottom, I have Rose because she's being a total bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst is Frogurt.
Sweet.
Shut the
He's
fuck
sweet.
up. Yep. And I'm going with a whole Reyes family in the top 3 as well.
Wow, look at that.
Yep. I have Mrs. Reyes, third best, Cheech in second place, and Hurley at the top.
Sweet
and
for Hurley too. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna fuck Hurley and I'm gonna kill that fucking annoying Aaron.
Oh,
wow.
Man. Wow.
Killing children.
I don't know why I'm so annoyed by him, but I'm just really annoyed by him.
Oh,
He's a
I
shitty
love
His
it.
head
actor.
isn't as big.
Oh, it's fine. That's what we do here at Lost in My 40s. We fuck and kill children. That's the way it is.
Whoa.
Whoa, who fucked children?
She's still
We've
on
been
that
over
Alex
this.
thing.
Oh,
God
God. That 18-year-old actress? Yes.
Yeah.
What a child.
Okay, fine. Benjamin, what do we got after after episode 2?
After episode 2, third from the bottom, we have Rose with a negative 9 points.
We've been mad at her a lot, but I don't think she's ever held a spot in the bottom before.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Ethan fell from first to second. He's now holding at 19 points, or negative 19. And Neil, or Frogurt, goes into the bottom of the barrel with negative 29 points.
Wow.
Not bad
we
for a
hated
single.
him.
Not bad for a single episode entrance.
No,
Like that is
not bad.
Yeah.
that dude was cast well and written well because we fucking hate him.
Yeah.
Let's see. So at the top, we actually have Sawyer still at 7 points in third place. We have Ben Linus in second place with 12 points, and then tied at the top. Since we had a clean sweep last week and a clean sweep this week, we have Dan Faraday and Hurley both in first place with 20 points.
Oh, you know what? If I hadn't put Hurley in the bottom last week, he'd be beating Dan Faraday right now.
All your
He
fault.
would be. All your fault.
Hurley hater.
No, it's just more exciting with a tie, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. Shall we do some final impressions? I'm very excited about these rankings, by the way. Let's do final impressions.
Let's do final impressions.
Christy, what do you think?
I'm kind of loving the whole getting the band back together thing, except for why is Ben Linus involved? And creepy time travel lady is back, so that's pretty cool. I want to see how that pans out. I do remember who she is, but it's still exciting. So yeah,
I love her.
good
I think
episode.
she's fantastic actress and really like adds a dynamic to this show for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's super cool. So that's it.
Well, I loved it. Loving all of it, but you guys know that it's hard to make me not love an episode of Lost. But time travel stuff blowing my mind. Another new thing that's like keeping my interest. Creepy time travel lady is back. Super excited about that. It feels reminiscent of last season where it was like, okay, we knew that they got off the island, but now we have to see how that happened. And I guess at this point, we don't necessarily know that they get back to the island, but it's still that, like, how is this going to come together? What is Ben's plan that he's got going on? Is it really possible to get everybody? How does Locke's dead body fit into this? Like, there's so much going on in my mind after just these 2 episodes that I'm just excited for the rest of the season. Benjamin, how do you feel?
Yeah, I thought this was again a good episode. I didn't think it was great, but it was.
Derek's face is shocked.
Yeah, I mean it's good to see like Hurley starting to kind of like take his own fate into his hands, even though he makes some really dumb decisions. You understand why he makes them.
Okay.
Him sort of reconnecting with his family, even though I don't really believe it with Cheech, I do believe it with his mom. I thought that scene where she said, "I don't understand you, Hugo, but I believe you." I thought that was a really, really, really great scene. And like probably very unburdensome for him, or unburdening for him, because you have to hold on to that. So, I thought this was a pretty good episode, all in all, and a solid second entry to the season.
All right. Derek, what did you think of The Lie? And did it develop any questions for you?
See, I thought it was a really excellent episode. I liked it. Hurley and all of what he was doing, I know he never liked lying. He hated it the whole time. So coming clean to his mother probably did relieve a big burden.
Yeah.
The fact that he made the choice to turn himself into the police instead of believing Ben Linus was interesting.
Yeah, right.
A lot of new things in here, like the crazy time travel lady, the butcher shop people. Who are these people? What are they? So some of my questions is who are those two people? The butcher shop people, and especially what's up with the crazy time travel lady? And the pendulum. But also, who's shooting the flaming arrows at the survivors, and who are the military people that attacked them as well? And are they the same or different?
Well, that question is going to be answered real fucking quick. I'll just say join us next week. All right. We are back on January 10th with season 5, episode 3. It's called a Jughead. It's a Desmond whoop whoop episode, and it's a Ben episode.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. Join us then as Desmond hunts for Faraday's mother. We meet Charlie. And who the fucking fuck is Jones? Next week, guys. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Lost in My 40s is a Space Bear Media production. Executive produced and edited by me, Lacey J. Sound engineering, editing, and original music by Benjamin Trimp. Like and follow Lost in My 40s on Facebook and SpaceBear_Media on Instagram and Threads. Plus, follow Space Bear Media on YouTube for extra video content. Or for everything in one place, go to spacebearmedia.com.